Okay, my loves. So, welcome back to BehatiLove Notes. That's number one. Number two, thank you guys so much for the comments that you left in our last BehatiLove Notes session, where I asked, what do you need? Like, how can I show up for you? Because that's my goal, that's my intention. And the comment that stood out to me the loudest was from someone who said, what do I do when I'm at a complete loss? When I don't want to read the full comment out loud, but the the overall general gist I feel is so relatable. I believe that so many of us can relate to it. If not now, in this moment in your life, that at some point you will come to a crossroads where you are at a complete loss. That's, in my opinion, or let me just say this, if you can't relate to this, if you haven't been there yet, I promise you there will come a moment in the future where you feel that way. To be at a loss as a human being is an important rite of passage. It doesn't feel like it in the moment because you may have suffered something that you are still grieving. It could be a life of someone else, or the life that you previously lived, and you're in that in between of the next chapter and the one that you're saying goodbye to now. To be at a loss is an opportunity. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but it's an opportunity to build your relationship with the divine even further. And oftentimes, the universe, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, and the divine will co-conspire together to make sure that you are in a place where you have to rely heavily on spirit. When you rely heavily on spirit, you will not receive instructions on how to get out of that circumstance or situation. You will not, I'll say that again. When you are called to rely on spirit, you are not going to receive instructions or directions on how to get out of that space. Why? Because it's important that you not rush through that season in your life. You're meant to lean into the arms of the divine. You are meant to learn how to hear the divine's voice loud and clear. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to build your relationship. Watch how your relationship has shifted and changed. And for some of you guys, you may actually have really strong feelings against spirit or against your guides because you feel abandoned, or you don't like the way that your life is panning out. You don't like where you have been led. You don't like how things had to be released, the very things that it is that you love the most, and you would never choose to let it go. If you could, you would hold on to it. You don't like the plan for your life. And for some of you guys, the word is strong. It's hate. I hate this. For some of you guys, what you're being asked in your life, or what you were asked in your life, or what you will be asked in your life feels bigger than you and feels completely unfair and a punishment that you don't deserve. So it makes sense to be at a loss. It makes sense to not know. It makes sense to not have the answers. And in those moments, again, the image that I get is someone sitting in a classroom, like an old vintage classroom, sitting at a desk all by themselves, doors closed, silent. You know that other students are learning. You know that other students are at recess. You know that other students are in the nurse's office and getting picked up by their parents. You know that other students are on a field trip, and you're just in this quiet room waiting for what? Processing, fearful, sick to your stomach, conflicted, confused, agitated, annoyed, frustrated, defeated. Some of you guys may accept and surrender to the plot, meaning the divine plot. And some of you guys may fight it and rage. Whatever you decide to do is good. Eventually, you'll get to the point where a part of you breaks, a part of your spirit cracks. That's the moment when spirit, the divine, angels and guides, ancestors, they flood in. That's the moment of release, emotional release. And with release, there's a little bit of relief. Because the things that you're holding on to, the things that you don't understand, finally, you're kind of, you see it and you're able to express it in some way. Once again, it's important that you do not try to rush out of that season. It's important that you stay within that season and you allow yourself to practice hearing the voice of the divine, God or goddess. For some of you guys, when you are listening and looking for a message from spirit, it's going to come in a different form. And I'll say that because it has happened to me where I was at a loss, where my life was about to change big time. And there was no way out for me. Like, there is no solution. Even spiritually, I had hit my ceiling. And in the quiet was when, for me, and I don't want to say this to you guys and then tell you to follow in my path, my footsteps, because everybody's different and every deity is different. But that's when Kali Ma showed up. Clear as day. I thought I was tripping. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought I was tripping. But I don't do drugs. I don't do anything like that. But it felt like I was having a whole hallucination. But she appeared. So did Archangel Michael. So did Archangel Gabriel at moments when I was at a loss. Did it happen so fast where I was just like, oh shit, I'm at a loss? And then the next night, oh, heard the message, just as at a loss. Let's show up and appear. No, it was a buildup of, for some, because every situation was different, but for some it would take years of silence and sitting in that empty classroom. And then another time it was a year. And when I tell you everything changed, everything changed. I will say that every time when I was at a loss, a lot of things had to break apart, break down. My faith was tested, not only in the divine and the plan, but in myself. It looked like there's no way that things would pan out. It would look like there is no answer, direction, or ability to shuffle forward. And that's how spirit shows up to us. The divine shows up and says, yeah, my plan over yours. I got you right where I wanted you and right where I needed you to show you that there's something bigger here afoot. Your life is not meaningless. The loss was not meaningless. Your direction and your plan and your path and your prosperity, all of those things are written in your charts and written in your hands and written in your heart and written in my eyes. I'm locked in and I've got you. I need you first to learn how to hear my voice loud and clear so that moving forward, and when I give you the instructions in this moment, I need you to keep coming back to me so that I can keep giving you instructions further, because the plan that I have for you is big. And I need you to follow these instructions through and through. Don't take shortcuts. I needed you to be so desperate that you wouldn't get distracted, that you wouldn't procrastinate, that as soon as you needed me the most, I waited and I didn't show up so that you needed me even further, and then I came to you. I waited till you were at rock bottom, and then I waited some more. That way you would forever be changed, and you would need me over everything else. That your relief of me entering into your life is enough to make you committed to me forever, because I have your best interest. I know what's best for you. All things come from me. I want to give to you. Spirit's heart breaks when you are abandoned, when you are confused, when you are conflicted, when you feel alone, isolated, used, abused, and it breaks even more when we decide those things for ourselves because we think that's the only way, or we think that's what we deserve when we don't. It is the divine's grace to reappear in our lives again and again after some of the choices, decisions that we make. It's also the divine's grace to stand with us and stand inside of us when we are grieving events that are outside of our control that we have to surrender to because it's not about us. The world, unfortunately, does not revolve around us and our wishes and our wills. Everybody has a path and a plan that is individually their own. And it's tough, but you're not supposed to be doing this alone. Let me go ahead and shuffle for you guys. Thank you to one of the members for asking that question. Let's dive into our readings like we always do. I'm going to pour into you like I always do. What happens when you're at a complete loss? The World card reverse here. It's not over. For someone here, you have to understand that being at a complete loss means, for someone here, and this isn't every single situation, but for someone here, you need to understand that there's some aspects of this journey, this chapter, that still need to find a way to close out. I think you're at a loss because you can't move forward, because Spirit is trying to guide you to, if not learn a lesson, then complete complete and sign off on a specific chapter in your life. The Lover's card. Ten of Pentacles. For some of you guys, it's similar to the Devil card here, but it's not giving devil energy, but it kind of is giving devil energy. Devil energy in this case, when it comes to tarot, means something that you cannot escape. Something that as soon as you free yourself of it, you run in a different direction and somehow you fall back into a different pit that looked just like the other pit that you just escaped. So the Lover's card in this situation, wow. Sorry guys, that was someone's car. But to me that felt really symbolic because that felt really irresponsible. But anyway, and needing attention. But the Lover's card in this situation represents choice. The decisions that it is that we make that lead us into pitfalls that we slip and fall into, and then someone else has to come in and rescue us. Or you realize that no one's coming to rescue me and I gotta figure a way out to rescue myself because I can't stay here. Ten of Pentacles is a nod to the generational experiences. I'm not going to use the C word, and by C word I mean curses. The generational experience, and the reason why I'm not going to use the C word is because so many of you guys are working on breaking the C word. So I don't want to keep calling it in. But these generational experiences that you are twisting yourself out of. But for some reason, I'm seeing like a circle, and the circle twists and then turns into an infinity. So somehow it kind of like repeats and loops. That's why we're at a loss. For some of you guys, you could have actually cleared that loop. You could have broken that chain. So that's why you're at a loss, because you're like, okay, all that I've known and all that my family has known and all that I was raised to know is this loop-de-loop. So now that I've pushed myself out of this circle, now that I've broken this circle, now what? What choices and decisions do I make? For someone here, sometimes it's often you find yourself looking in black and white extremes. I was just talking about this morning, extremes. When the extreme isn't the answer, it's the shadow area, the gray area, but you don't know how to look for the answers in the gray area because all you know is, okay, extremely this or extremely this. We want to find like a balance, a middle ground. When it comes to relationships here, I don't want to be unclear, but every situation is so different. With the Lover's card and the Ten of Pentacles, this has a lot to do with marriage. I'm also hearing the word communion, or coming together, being having a blessing over a relationship, or praying for a deeper connection, a deeper union, something that lasts. Ten of Pentacles is not a short-lived fling. It's something that doesn't just have potential. It is rooted in success. It's rooted in longevity. But even though that's what a lot of people are praying for, setting intention for, lighting candles for, working their love spells, their love oils, all of it, sometimes there's a lack of passion. There's a lack of spice, chemistry. You choose something because it seems right on paper, or you're navigating through a chapter in the relationship where the love is there, but the vibe is off. With the World card reversed, sometimes it's the consequences of our actions, things that just haven't completed, things that weren't completely said. Not having closure, not having an answer, not knowing the solution. Knowing the solution, but not wanting to do what it takes to get there. So what you end up sitting in is restlessness in the relationship. Four of Swords, Four of Wands reversed, Knight of Swords reversed. Restlessness, not wanting to talk about it, not wanting to observe the elephant in the room. And for that reason, the relationship, the energy seems broken. For those of you guys that are looking for deeper connections, deeper union, deeper relationships with another person, what you're looking for, it just feels like it's not there. Where do I go to look for this? I don't even have a map into where do I find this person of my dreams. Where do I go? Where do I go? What do I do? So it feels, again, you're at a loss. For another person here, you are at a loss in yourself, in your body. It feels like you're not moving with passion and desire and ambition and spice and spark in life. You're doing things out of dull monotony, kind of maintaining the average, maintaining the usual. And for that reason, you don't feel at home in your body. You feel disconnected from your body. You've dissociated in some way. That's why you're at a loss. Financially, this is coming through. Ten of Pentacles, the World card reversed, and the World and the Lover's card, Four of Swords reversed, Four of Wands reversed, Knight of Swords reversed. You're looking for someone here, you could have a lot of money, but an empty house, an empty home. Have the ability to make a lot of money, but it's not in alignment with your values. Being offered something you know you shouldn't take, but feeling like you got to take it because your back is against the wall. And for someone else here, you're sitting on something that is a mecca, a promised land for you, like something that will support you, nourish you, has everything. And you're finding a way to come back to yourself and how to make it work so you're not repeating the same cycle of abuse that happens in your work life. Because you don't know how to make healthier decisions. You don't know how to balance it all. That's relatable, I understand. So, Spirit, what is your advice? Spirit is saying address your blind spots. How do you find a blind spot if you don't know that it's blind? Spirit says, I'll show you. Okay? I'll show you. Three of Cups is so interesting. It's the emotional connection. It's coming together in unity, not by logic, not by reason, but it emotionally, intuitively, there's a trine here, Three of Cups, and it's water. So it's a trine in water. So that connects us to our intuition, our emotion, our subconscious. Highly intuitive, highly emotional. The answers that you're seeking, you're going to feel it. It's going to be a feeling. For someone here, you're going to be called to kind of face even difficult emotions, difficult feelings, you're not going to be able to hop, skip, and jump out of this. You kind of have to confront the root of where your discontent is coming from. Seven of Pentacles reversed is needing to see something, really needing to examine. Seven of Pentacles, when it's upright, you're able to take a step back and assess what you were able to achieve, accomplish, grow, build. When it's Seven of Pentacles, you're either not doing that or you're doing it and you can't see. There's a blind spot. And I heard that directly from Spirit. That's the word that they use, blind spot. Ace of Wands shows like someone lighting a match. Why can't I light this damn thing? Why won't it light? Keep striking it, keep striking it, keep striking it. And you can't see that it's wet, or you can't see that the breeze keeps blowing it out, or you can't see that, you don't need to be lighting a match anyway, because this whole place is flammable and it'll go up in flames. But we are going to give you a flashlight. That is better. Spirit is going to provide for you exactly what is that you need for the circumstances that you're in, but your logic and your path and your choice of how you would do things, you can't see that that's not the right way for you. It would put you in more harm's way. So there's an opportunity to learn. But in order to, it's like full circle moment here, speaking of the circle, but in order for that to happen, you have to be open to hearing the voice of the divine, hearing the voice of God, hearing the voice of your angels, your guides, your ancestors, being prepared for an intervention here, having Archangel Gabriel, who scares the crap out of everyone whenever they, because it's genderless, appears in the Bible. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, that's how Archangel Gabriel shows up. Archangel Gabriel scares the crap out of everybody. So prepare for that. Prepare to be a little shocked, a little stunned. But when the message comes through and the horn is blown, the answers are loud and clear. And that feeling of being at a loss, now you're going to have direction. It was worth it the entire time. That's what you're going to say. It was worth it. I also feel like with the Three of Cups, this is a strong nod towards community. I know that this doesn't always help, but sometimes it does, to know that you're not in this alone. I guarantee you at least 74% of those in our hive right now, here in BehatiLove Notes, are feeling something really similar to what it is that you're feeling. You're not in this alone. There's a lot of discontent. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of desire. Instead of, in this moment, instead of focusing in on what we don't have, I want to zone in on what we do have, because Spirit's asking us to look at the blind spots. What we do have is the passion to start over. What we do have is the passion to discover. What we do have is a line to talk to our angels and our guides. What we do have is the divine's attention. That's all I need. That's all I need to start over. That's all I need to start over. That's all I need. Yes, please look at me, Spirit. Yes, please look at me, divine. Give me the answers. Help me change. I am open to changing. I was doing things my way this entire time. Now I want to do what you see in my best interest. I was moving because I wanted this. I was moving because I wanted love. I was moving because I wanted money. I was moving because I was afraid. I was moving because I needed security. I was moving because I had desire. Now what I desire is to draw closer to you and know what you have for me. What do you see for my life? Instead of me praying and asking and telling you what I want, I'm open to hearing what you want from me, and I'm prepared to do what it takes to get there, to do that thing. It was my desperation that brought me here. And for that reason, instead of me beating myself up because I'm desperate, I'm going to give gratitude because I need you now more than ever. Instead of me putting on a front and putting on a mask and pretending like, or convincing myself that I've got it all figured out, I'm going to tell you and be vulnerable in front of you and present a question mark and say, I have no idea what I'm doing and I need your help. Nothing in me wants to be inauthentic. Nothing in me wants to be ingenuine. I need to have depth and closeness and intimacy with my relationship with spirit, with the divine, with myself. From that space, everything bleeds out. My relationships, my money, my health, my peace, all of it bleeds out. And it all stemmed from you. How can I draw closer to you? Where are you? Within me? You're within me the whole time? You mean this whole time I wasn't alone? All I needed to do was sit still and look for you? All I needed to do was sit still and be cracked open? So you mean to tell me that moving forward into the future, the moments when I feel the worst and at my rock bottom, it was that cracking open that everything changed for the better and it was everything that it is that I needed? You mean to tell me that that your love for me and your divine grace is so great, so profound, that all I needed to do was sit and be open to receiving, and you would pour into me everything that is that I needed, and my life would change for the better and have meaning and purpose, and I would have peace? Say less. That's why you're at a loss right now, honey. Because being at a loss is really just an opportunity to gain wisdom, unconditional love, truth, clarity, direction that is priceless, and that a good chunk of this world doesn't even know how to ask for, to receive. But yet, somehow, your path, your steps, your guidance from your angels, your guides, your ancestors, because clearly you were calling someone in, you found this message. Clearly something's working. Clearly something's pointing you in a direction. Look at the last readings that we had. Angels and the guides, they kept saying, look for the hawk, look for the hawk. There's a message here. For some of you guys, you may have seen the hawk. And for some of you guys, that hawk was a metaphor. It was symbolic. Spirit is trying to talk to you. You are not alone. Your ancestors, lots of ancestors, are standing beside you and behind you and in front of you, guiding your steps, protecting your steps, and leading the way, holding spiritual lanterns. You've got this. You've got this. I'm going to shuffle quickly from the Nature Oracle, and then I'm going to give you guys the space to journal, to go to your altars, to go to your sacred space, which I highly, highly recommend. Balance the emotions, Pine. Yeah, something's going to come through in emotions. Spiritual quest. And Dandelion, persist in your pursuits. What I love about these energies is they're really crisp. I don't know if you guys are getting crispness, but I am. Very, very crisp energies. With the mountain card in the spiritual quest, it's important that you don't try to tackle the mountain overnight. It's important that you don't try to move the mountain. You're going on a journey here, and it's going to be step by step. It's the journey itself that is the reward, not always the destination. So for right now, try to balance yourself. Try to awaken your senses. Try to, I don't say snap out of it, but find things to clear and cleanse. The pine, whenever that shows up, when I'm working with my magic or I'm using it, it's because I'm trying to snap my senses into a territory that allows me to cleanse so I can see and feel clearer. Or I'm working on like a detox or a cleansing in my house, my home, or my altar space, my workspace. The dandelion is the message here of don't give up. You couldn't give up if you wanted to. And the fact that this message, you've crossed paths with this message, or the fact that you were called to ask for this message, is another way that your spirit just refuses to give up. You're not going to give up. You're not. It's just not going to happen. You haven't found the solution yet, but the solution is in the stillness, if you ask me. So I'm going to let you guys take some time to go to your sacred space, spritz your protection oils, light your candle for clarity, get your journal, and be consistent. If you're going to do anything today and tomorrow and for the month and for the year, continue to ask for clarity and also continue to say thank you. Give gratitude to your angels and your guides, your ancestors, for hearing you and drawing their attention to you now, because something big is afoot. And I can't wait to see what that is. I'm sending you guys all of my love. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.